Hi everyone, welcome to Wealthy Mindset. My name is Oliver. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day like always. In today's video, I'm going to be covering BlackBerry stock for April 9th trading day, giving you guys the lows and the highs by analyzing the graph, and also throwing in some fundamentals, for example, like the Volvo stuff. Now, before I begin, quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a professional, and everything I do share with you guys is just my opinion. It is not advice, so please do not buy or sell based off the information I give you or the opinions I do form. Please do your own due diligence and research before buying and selling. I do own shares in BlackBerry, been holding for 6 years, so I'm a long-term investor overall. Now, before I get into the graph, I know it looks like a little bit of a mess, but it's going to make sense. I just want to talk about the Volvo news that came out. So Volvo Group selects BlackBerry QNX for its dynamic software platform. So the news broke out April 7th, 2021. It was announced that Volvo Group has selected BlackBerry QNX as the foundational software for its main domain like ECUs, which is modules, and selected it for over 300,000 vehicles that are like year over year for every year. And I believe somewhere here in the article says for the next 15 years as well. So the reason why this is important and it's good, it shows that the ball is rolling, traction's picking up. The number is pretty decent, 300,000 vehicles. The only problem is it's not necessarily life-changing yet, because if we look at the automotive industry in terms of suppliers and modules, usually suppliers, I think, profit pretty much $2 to $3 per module in terms of profit, not revenue, by the way, like that's pure profit. But for this situation, since BlackBerry is working on the main module, that one easily would be profiting about $5 for a supplier. So and keep in mind, again, this is going to be pure profit. This is not revenue. So if you take 300,000 vehicles times $5 profit per module, you're looking at $1.5 million profit. Now, again, that's not going to move mountains for the company, but it's a good step to show that the ball is rolling, traction's picking up, so that's good stuff. Okay, so now we're going to look at the graph. Like always, I'm going to cover the downside and the upside just because nobody knows for sure. And there could be some news that comes out tomorrow morning where it could end up bringing the stock down dramatically or spiking the stock up dramatically to the upside as well. So just in case, I'm going to cover the upside and the downside. Now, for me personally, I think tomorrow is going to go to the upside. So I'm going to cover the upside first, and then I'm going to cover the downside after that. Now, we have a downward trend resistance line right here that dates back since March 15th that I showed before earnings as well. Unfortunately, kept us down even during earnings, but we broke through it recently, so that's good. Had an upward trend support line dating back since March 31st. Touch point right here, touch point right here, touch point right here. The unfortunate part is we did break through it, and then we bounced back up above it, so that's good. The only problem is when you break an up or like a support line nonetheless, it tends to be more fragile to break the next time as well. So hopefully it holds through, but either way, we passed all the moving averages, so that's good. MAC line's in the positive, so that's good as well. Plus we passed downward trend resistance line. So this downward trend resistance line dates back since February 24th right here. Back test as support, or bounced off as support, back test as resistance, back test as resistance right here as well, back test as resistance right here, and then back test as resistance as right here as well. So that's a good sign, good news. I would assume with all this stuff, we're going to continue to the upside. Now, MAC line's a little bit curving to the downside. I wouldn't be too worried because what could happen is essentially it could come back down before going up fully. Hopefully bounces up on the upside on as the support level and solidifies as support as well again, and then continues to the upside. Now, we can't go too high because we have this downward trend resistance line that I've shown in the past, if you've seen my channel, that I thought was going to act as more support than resistance because there's more support touch points than resistance touch points. But unfortunately, what happened was recently, back in March 15th, it ended up acting as resistance instead of support. So touch point right there, touch point right there. And if that's going to be in play again, if you're overly, I don't think we're going to see this tomorrow, but if you're overly optimistic and you think it's going to skyrocket, then you're looking at like a ceiling cap for tomorrow at $10.27 to $10.37, somewhere around here, depending on when we meet this downward trend resistance line. Now, you could have a false breakout to the upside. I don't think it will be this dramatic, but anything's possible. It could be at 1044 to 1054. There's resistance at this level, but there's a small chance that this is a good consolidation spot. The only thing is, though, it'd be even better if we get up to 1060 and come back down to consolidate at the 1044 to 1054. And by 1060, I mean in the round ballpark of 1060 to 1061, 1069, around this level. So hopefully that does happen. I'm not that optimistic for tomorrow to get into this range, but again, anything's possible. I think most likely what will happen is we'll go to the upside. We'll have issues with 950, 951, 959 like we've seen today and the other trading days. Then 963, which is a support level, but it's going to act as resistance first. And it's going to act as quite a bit of resistance, but I don't think we'll have issues passing it necessarily. And then 988 to 983, between that range, 995, 999. I think we're going to have, I think personally, we might actually almost touch $10, if not like probably just like touch it for a quick second. And if we do, I think we'll get stuck around here. So I'm hoping for and ideally expecting to get like essentially stuck at this level. So $10, $10.02, $10.10, and then between 10.11 to 10.15. We might close at 10.04 tomorrow or somewhere around there, $10.04. I think we might, I'm banking on hopefully we close at the low 10s tomorrow. But I know that might be a little too optimistic. Be overcritical watching these videos. I do own shares in BlackBerry, so I can easily be biased. So there's that. Now, to the downside. Before I cover the downside, there's a chance that we could go like open tomorrow to like a little bit up and then come back down. So if we come back down, I'm hoping bounce off this. So in order to do that, we'd be coming down in the 930 range, just FYI. So $9.30, wouldn't be too worried, and hopefully continue to the upside. Now, if we go to the downside, we have support at the $9.37 and mainly between 931 927. So between these levels, $9.31 to 927. I guess it was mainly because I'm trying to remember what the 937 is for. Sorry, drawing a blank, but I believe it was to indicate that there's like levels between 927 to 937, but the majority of it falls between 931 to 927. I believe that's what it was. Then we have, before I get to that, in case if we get back down to this resistance line and bounce off as support, which would be great, then what we could be looking at is at the 923, 924 price points, and then which falls between this average price point, so 923 as well. So the moving average right here is 923 roughly. Then we would fall at the moving average of 916, and then 895. But I'm gonna get through these points, but I'm just reading the moving averages. But if we go with the other like horizontal support levels and all the other support levels, what would happen is after the 931, 927, I think the lowest we'll go for tomorrow, if you're not optimistic, is this price point. So $9, between $9.13, $9.14. So between low $9 to $9.13, $9.14, I think that would be the utmost lowest for tomorrow. I don't think we're gonna break the $9 tomorrow, and if we do, then the lowest would be $9.85 to $9.87, which would be bouncing off the moving average right here by the time we get to it. So hopefully that is the lowest. I don't think these are in play anymore. They could be in play in the future. So in case if you could see these texts, like the $8.80, $8.70, $8.50, the $8.60 and all that stuff, $8.40. The only way I can see that being in play, not for tomorrow, but it is possible for the next few trading days if you're like not optimistic, is we go up here, get knocked down, and then we come back down to bounce off here and then go to the upside. So if we don't break this, then we could potentially come back down. Obviously, if we don't break it, we could come back down. But if we break it, then we'll continue to the upside, hopefully. So we'll see. One other thing is, if you think we're going to continue on this upward trend support line right here and close off the day, you'll be closing the day off at pretty much at the $9.63 price point. So I know it says 969, 970 and all that stuff. I think what would happen is we probably either, I guess, okay, so if you think it's going to hold off on the upward trend support line, you're looking at 970, 971. But I think what would happen is we'd probably act as support at 963, hopefully close at 970 if you're thinking it's going to continue on the upward trend support line. And then also if you think it's going to like go down on this downward trend resistance line but act as support, then you're looking at closing at pretty much at the low 9s for tomorrow, $9.09, $9.10, somewhere around there. So anything is possible, but again, I think it's quite a bit of good support at the low $9. Worst case scenario, $8.95, $8.97 tomorrow. I'm thinking most likely we're going to go to the upside, where we could be testing potentially $10 tomorrow. Hopefully we pass these levels and hit at least $10. And if you're overly optimistic, like I stated, 10.27, 10.37, but I think that's a little too optimistic for tomorrow. I think that would be the next few trading days after that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you do like the video, consider dropping a like. Helps out the channel a lot. Thank you so much for that. Also consider subscribing if you do like these videos or other stock videos or other financial videos that I'll be posting. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.